was going to Daytona. I had my race gear in my pack when a stranger pulled up beside me in a stock car colored black. He was dressed like a NASCAR driver, a mustache with mirrored eyes. He said, "It's a long walk to Florida, would you like a ride, son?" Well, I crawled across the roll cage.
In 1968, when I was only 3 years old, Elvis Presley starred in a movie called Speedway. Sunday afternoons our local TV station would show Elvis Presley movies. I remember one Sunday, I was sitting on the floor of my grandparents' house waiting for the movie to come on. I was mesmerized this Sunday when the movie started. It was Speedway. That Sunday afternoon I said to myself, I'm going to drive them, they're NASCARs. Many years later I got that opportunity. In the meantime, the only form of speedway racing in Australia was dirt track racing. As a child we would go to Liverpool, Parramatta and Woodstock near Carra. My father raced at Woodstock. In 1986 I started racing dirt track speedway at Newcastle Motordrome, Gunnedah, Yass, Dubbo and Woodstock.
And as I climbed out of the race car, I said, "Thanks, I'll catch you later." He said, "You'll pay hell catching me, son, 'cause I'm the intimidator." He said, "Boy, can you make them stand and scream your name? Have you hit them in the ass, never let off the gas till you're in the victory lane?" He said, "Boy, do you know how it feels when you're running 3 wide? 'Cause if you do turn around, let me walk your in for a ride." He said, "Boy, can you make fans stand and scream your name? Have you hit them in the ass?"
On the 28th of February, 1988 NASCAR racing started in Australia. Bob Jane had built a NASCAR-sanctioned track at Calder Park Raceway with 24-degree banked corners. The Thunderdome is a purpose-built 1.8 kilometres quad-oval speedway located on the outskirts of Melbourne. My father and I travelled down to Victoria to watch this racing. In 1990, George Elliot ran a driver search competition called NASTRAK. The first year some 400 people entered this competition to drive a NASCAR around the Thunderdome in the hope to win a chance to race a full-sponsored car. The first year I finished in the top 30. As I just missed out being in the top 25, George invited me back the next year to try again. To make the top 25 there were a series of on-track tasks that had to be met. These were, keep a constant gap between you and the lead car. Keep the car between markers, placed in turns 2 and 3. Then there was the lap times over 25 laps. The next year Terry Byers was driving the lead car in front of me. After our laps I said to Terry, we were motoring along out there. He replied, "Every time I looked in the mirror you were still right there, so I just went faster to see how fast you'd go. The G-forces in these cars are unbelievable, they can reach up to 5G. As you drop into a turn, your head is pulled sideways and downward. Controlling a speeding race car under this much pressure takes a remarkable amount of upper body strength and endurance." After this I started working on Terry Byers' pit crew. Terry Byers had 2 NASCARs, a Pontiac Grand Prix and an ex-Terry Labonte Chevy Monte Carlo. I spent time at his workshop at Austinmont. It is a northern village of Wollongong on the south coast of New South Wales. Travelling to Melbourne, Adelaide and the Gold Coast for racing. 1992 Terry finished 3rd in the Australian Championship. My injury stopped me from returning to this team after 1993. So ended my brief time in the world of NASCAR.
I'm gonna show you something about momentum.